Hey guys, Gary J here, and today I want to be talking about the AR-15, and this is my AR-15. It's a little different than most other AR-15s in some ways, and we'll look at that. But it's unfortunate that the AR-15 has been tainted, the name of it has been tainted by some of the psychopaths and other types of mentally ill people. But this is a fantastic rifle, a great part of Americana, and history is incredible in various wars and so forth. And this rifle has done much to give freedom to America in the past wars and so forth. And the engineering development of it is extraordinary and very incredible. A lot of people don't understand, people who collect guns or shoot guns like the AR-15 or other types of military weapons, that we're remembering the past too as well. If you don't remember the past, you're doomed to repeat it. And so, wonderful rifle. A little bit of a history on the AR-15. Some people use the term AR-15 to cover kind of like an umbrella term for a range of all types of semi-automatic rifles made by a lot of different gun makers. When you think of AR, that word AR comes from the name of the gun's original manufacturer, and that stands for armor light. Armor light. That's where the AR comes from. The letters stand for armor light rifles and not for an assault rifle. AR does not mean assault rifle. Or does it mean automatic rifle? It does not mean automatic rifle either, but from the name of the manufacturers who made it, Armalite. Armalite first developed the AR-15 in the late 1950s as a military rifle, but it had limited success in selling this rifle at that time they did. In 1959, the company sold the design to Colt. Colt's got great advertising and strings sometimes. In 1963, the United States military selected Colt to manufacture the automatic rifle that soon became the standard issue for the United States troops in the Vietnam War. It was known then as the M16. And as they were armed with that success, we look at Colt, and they ramped up a production of a semi-automatic version of the M16. And this is a similar version of the M16 that Colt came out with, that sold to law enforcement and to the public, civilians, marketed as the AR-15. So the name was changed, and they adapted it for law enforcement and civilians. When Colt's patent on the AR-15 expired in the 1970s, then other manufacturers began making similar models, and that's why we have all the different types of companies that make AR-15s. And some make really, really good AR-15s, and some make medium grade AR-15s, and some make horrible AR-15s. But they're just all kind of makers now after the patent expired. So the AR-15 can go from a price of like $600 to several $1,000s, depending on if you have one custom made and a lot of various accessories and so forth on them. Now, the National Rifle Association, interestingly enough, they say that there are some 8 million AR-15s out there in America. Can you imagine the 8 million AR-15s in America? And that's pretty impressive to me. And they are so popular that the AR should stand for American Rifle. That's what it should stand for, perhaps. People forget that we have freedom in this country because of soldiers and because of great weapons like this. So it should be honored in that sense to me. But when you look at these psychopaths, sociopaths, people mentally deranged that may use something like this and they kill a number of people, it's not the gun that does it. It's not the rifle that does it. The rifle cannot talk, it cannot walk, it cannot move from place to place, it cannot sight down on someone and shoot someone. A human being has to pick this rifle up and with deadly intentions aim and shoot and kill a person for whatever reason. A lot of times no reason. And that's a terrible thing. It's not the rifle, it's the person. And one of my pet peeves is that while in government and liberals point at the AR-15 and other types of military rifles that need to be banned, they completely ignore the foundation of what causes people to go out and kill. I think a lot of that has to do with all the violence we see on television, all the violent video games, violent music, and things we see on the internet and so forth that has violence and hate. And those are the things that need to be controlled, my friend, psychologically, more so than taking off a rifle like the AR-15 or other military rifles they try to ban. That's my opinion of, what they need to do. And but liberals going to do it their way. We can get a whole conversation about that. But the AR-15 rifles, though, you look at the history of them, they were around for some 40 years. 40 years they were around before the first mass killing occurred with an AR-15 in an apartment in Crandon, Wisconsin in 2007. You know why most people don't use an AR-15 to kill people? They use something called a Saturday Night Special or some other inferior rifle or pistol. Most of the time it's pistols. Why? Because they cannot afford an AR-15. AR-15s are very expensive. Most people can't afford them. That's why they don't buy them. Occasionally, exceptionally few people will get a hold to them and do something terrible. But 99.9% of the people who have AR-15 rifles are not going to use them in any kind of criminal, violent way, my friend. So it just doesn't make sense to me why people have a problem with this rifle. A lot of it's ignorance. Ignorance doesn't mean stupidity. It means a lack of knowledge. They just don't understand. They don't know anything about guns. A lot of us who collect guns and like guns, period, appreciate the engineering, appreciate the history, when they were used, how they were used. I like black powder guns. I like the history of them. I like thinking about what it might have been like for some of these people in the colonial days, or Daniel Boone or others in Civil War and Revolutionary War. So, that's kind of the way I look at a lot of rifles, guns, shotguns, and so forth. Okay, well, let's look at this one here. This is a different type of AR-15 than most AR-15s to me. I've shot different AR-15s, and this is a different type, and I'll explain to you why this is a different type of AR-15. Now, on this one, there's several things that come to mind when you look at how this rifle here is made and what model it is. Now the model on this one, this is a Bushmaster. The model on this one is an XM15-E2S. This is built on the M4 style carbine. And it has a weight. This is a heavy AR-15. It has a 8.27 pounds, 8.25 pounds basically. This is heavy for AR-15. A lot of AR-15s, you can get a lightweight AR-15, which I love those. They weigh about 4 pounds or less in the lightweights. The medium weights go like 6 pounds, and they're a lot lighter, but this one here is heavy, and but I like the light ones a lot. This one has a 20-inch heavy stainless steel barrel, and this stainless steel barrel is 416 stainless steel. That's the type of steel it is, 416 type of steel. So why have a stainless steel barrel? Stainless steel barrels have been around since the 1930s. However, they have recently seen widespread use for two reasons. Number one, their resistance to heat erosion is superior to the chrome moly barrels. That used to be a big thing to buy a rifle and have a chrome moly barrel coating on the inside. These barrels are superior to that. Secondly, their resistance to rust nearly eliminates corrosion in the human environments. So that makes it very versatile over steel. And that's not to say that a stainless steel barrel cannot rust. It can over a long period of time. But this is what makes the stainless steel barrel so nice, and it's a thick barrel. Now you get into some, I guess AR-15s more with the old styles, but maybe the pencil type barrels, they could heat up and warp a little bit. This particular one here is a target version. I like an accurate rifle. This is the target version, and this is one reason it's so heavy. It's got the heavy barrel stainless steel barrel with it, and it's got this on the rear stock right there. That's a full stock. Some people don't like those very much, but for what this is a bench gun, a range gun in the AR-15, pretty much. So that's really what I kind of like about it. And, you know, the AR-15s are gas-operated semi-automatics. Now they have a muzzle velocity of 3,260 feet per second. And one like this has a effective firing range out to 600 yards, which is saying something. The maximum firing range for a rifle like this is 3,865 yards. And it has the A2 style front post. Now some of the barrels on these came in the 16-inch, 20-inch, and I think all the way up to a 24-inch. So looking at this rifle, just as it is, the rifle itself, it would weigh 8 1/4 pounds. When you put a magazine in it, you could add another pound for the ammo, so you'd have 9 1/4 pounds. And also, I have a lead weight that's specially made for that stock. It's a tapered looking lead weight that goes in the back of that stock. It's made for it. And that lead weight weighs 3 1/2 pounds for the stock. That makes it really solid on the bench. So that would kick it up to what, about 12 3/4 pounds, or 13 3/4 pounds, almost 14 pounds, I think. When you put all of that together, it's kind of a bench rifle. And that's saying a lot right there. So this is really a neat looking rifle to me, and it's good for what it's made for bench and target. Not something you want to tote around all day. And I'll show you some of the accessories that come with that, and we'll just look at that for a second and give you some idea how that works. You see on the end of the barrel, we have a yellow plastic cover there for the end of the barrel, so nothing goes down in the barrel, no dust or trash or anything like that. And yellow covering for the front sight. And at the breech part of it, we have a yellow plastic little device there that has like a straw that goes down the barrel. So when you see that, you know that that rifle is empty. There's nothing in it. So we'll look at it a little bit closer here. Okay, we take this yellow cover off right here and we have our front sight. And then the yellow cover here for the barrel. Now you may notice at the end of the barrel here, generally these come in like an A2 flash suppressor. I bought this, and some of the accessories for these rifles are pretty reasonable. Now that's a muzzle brake, kind of a muzzle brake compensator. It has holes at the top to blow the barrel down, and these holes on the side of it act as a muzzle brake. The .223 caliber really does not kick that hard, so that's just kind of an add-on thing, and it works great. And right here, you can see the camera here. And right here is your boat right here. It's got a place on the other end of it right here that you got to pull that before you can pull your boat back. Pull the boat all the way back, it stays locked open. And this piece right here comes out. So you can tell when this is in, there's nothing in that barrel. You know that for 100%. Okay. And this is your kind of dust shield for rain or anything like that. And if you want to drop your clip out of here, there's a button right here. You press this button right here, that will drop your clip out. And right here, sometimes when your boat closes, it doesn't close all the way like it should, perhaps. And you just hit this right here, and this will go in and help push that boat all the way so it's firm. Okay. And on this side, you can see where it says fire. There's a line cut through this pin right here that shows you that it's on fire. So if you pull the trigger, it's going to shoot. And it's got on the other side, it's a lever where you can flip it. And this line, again, it's hard to see, but there's a line right here. It will be pointing this way. It says safety. So you can tell if it's on safe or fire from the right or left side. And this is a pretty good size scope right here with flip ups. And this one is, I have so many scopes. This is a 10 power scope right here. I keep it down. It's got a lighted reticle in here. This is where you turn on the reticle right here, and it's got some adjustments on it. And this gives you different power, brightness to the reticle in the center here. Depending on daylight or nighttime, you can adjust that, and that's pretty neat. Now right here, where this clip right here, we'll just push this and let it fall. Probably nothing. So that's all you do to drop your clip, push that. Again, if your boat doesn't close all the way, you hit this right here with your hand and help close that. And we'll flip it over. Okay, on the other side of it, we've got our boat open right here. There's a button, there's a lever right here. You press this lever right here, and it will throw around. If you got your clip in, it'll throw around into the chamber by pressing this right here. I don't usually like to do that without something in it, but I'm just showing you. And right here is a toggle lever right here. It says fire, and it says safety. And so you just pull that up, and it's on safety right there. I Another great thing about the AR-15 too, it's very compact, and it's real easy to take down. And let's see if we can keep this in view right here. I think you can see that. There's a dowel pin here and a dowel pin here. If you want to take this apart, you take and push that dowel pin in with your thumb, that one, and then you push this one in right here with your thumb. You can take your bullet or something like that, maybe. We'll take this in right here. Just push that. Okay, so easy that was. We'll push this one. Okay, so we push those all the way in and grab hold to your bottom part right here. And now you have separated your rifle from your stock. And so that makes it extremely compact. I guess while we got this out here, I'll let you see the have a muzzle brake, kind of slanted holes right here, holes up here to keep the barrel down. The pressure comes out, the barrel's going to jump. Gases come out here to keep the barrel down, and these right here act as a muzzle brake too. And this is probably only like $30, and I thought that was real reasonable. What I wanted to show you is how easy it is to put this back together, because you only have these two kind of dowel pins right here that go here and here. You just have to line it up and kind of hold it in place, and you have to move it just a little bit and make sure that you got it. You can do one end at a time, like this right here, where it just folds like this right here. It's not going to come loose. And push this in here, and since this one's already locked in place, this one has to be right. So you just push down on that. Okay. And since you got that down, then you're ready. Okay. I think one thing I want to show you too that I don't think I showed you. Make sure I can see what I'm doing here. Right here, you got to pull this back right here in order to pull that boat back, because it's got a catch right here. So if you just try to pull the boat back, it's not going to come back unless you put your finger on this right here, or thumb, and then the whole thing will come back. Okay. So that's about all there is. And close your plate right here. Okay, that was one other thing I wanted to show you. I mentioned to you about the weights that you could put on this particular type of AR-15. And on the back of the butt plate here, you can open this up, and you can see maybe there's this hole that goes all the way in here. Okay. And this hole is tapered so that it's not square all the way. It tapers downward, and it's made for a particular type of lead weight that fits it like a glove, so that you can close it up like that when you use that lead weight. And I want to show you that piece of lead weight that weighs 3.5 pounds that you can put in here, which puts this over 13 pounds a little bit. Okay, this is the lead weight that goes in the back of that stock. You see how it's tapered? That stock is also tapered on the inside too, so that it fits just like a glove. And that's 3.5 pounds, okay? And that's really good. Like if you're bench shooting, you have that extra weight. Now you got like a 13-pound rifle, which is really heavy. And another thing about the lead weight right here is that some people say, well, I don't really want 3.5 pounds. Well, it's not really too much of a problem. Here we have an instruction right here. If we can read this right here. You can cut off sections of this lead weight. Like if you cut off 6 7/8 of an inch, that'll be 3 pounds and 8 ounces. And if you cut off 3 inches and 9/16, that'll be 2 pounds and 4 ounces. So if you cut it off here, that would be a 2 pound 4 ounce piece. If you cut off 1 inch and 3/32, then that would be 12 ounces. Or 1 inch and 7/16, that would be 1 pound if you cut it off right there. So you can cut this up into sections if you want to, and then add the weight to whatever you feel like is right for you. Okay. And right here it's got approximate weight 3 pounds 12 ounces. So and at the back of it too, it's got a little piece of foam generally, and that foam just keeps it from rattling or anything, but it fits like a glove. So that's a neat thing about the weight if you're going to be bench shooting with a rifle like this. Okay, these are clips. This is 30-round clip, and there's some more clips somewhere, but this is a 5-round clip. In Georgia, if you're going to deer hunt, you got to have a 5-round clip in Georgia to deer hunt. Now these are 223, and these are expensive. They got, see the ballistic tips on these right here. These are fairly expensive rounds right here. And you can get different grades of 223 ammo that will shoot better than others. And this right here is a Wolf 223, which is like a Russian, and this is kind of steel, I think. These right here, they're kind of dirty rounds as far as getting your gun dirty, but they shoot real well a lot of times. And a lot of people use them for the AR-15 and other military rifles that use a 223, like the Mini 14, which the Mini 14 never saw any wars, but law enforcement and civilians and the A-10 use them a lot. So they will shoot kind of the lower end Wolf ammo right here. And this grip right here, I took this grip off that Bushmaster and put another one. The other one looks just like this, except it has a plate that covers this right here that closes down, and that way you can put stuff in here that you might need. Matches or anything like that, or fishing line or whatever. And of course this right here is your handle for that. All this comes with this rifle. This gun was bought brand new, so everything is like it is. It's never been really shot much at all, so so this is your grip right here where you would hold the rifle and put it on the rifle itself, like where the scope is. And right here you have a peep sight. I can't tell where that's showing up. You have the peep sight right here, and that'll flip up and down, that peep sight. It's got a small aperture there, and you can flip it and get a larger aperture like that. See that larger aperture? And flip it back down, and you have this tiny aperture. You can see right there. And this is like a, I guess, an A2 birdcage flash hider. I have one of these on a pistol barrel actually. And that's why I took this one off. I mean, it looks okay, but I like the other one better. And on the front sight, this is a tool right here. You push down on the front sight and you can rotate it to elevate your front sight up or down, which is really good. And this is like a little screwdriver right here. And you can adjust certain things with it too. And this right here is a cleaning rod. I got this, I think I got this cleaning rod for something else. I think I got it for SKS, but it works real well on the AR-15. And then you have these brochures right here, and these brochures have everything you might want to buy for AR-15. And they have diagrams here, shows you how to disassemble everything too, in all different versions of the AR-15 by Bushmaster. And here's another one here too. And this is your manual. And it basically tells you how to operate it. And a lot of good information, which I think on the internet, you can go on the internet if you don't have these manuals and stuff like that, and type in, you know, your model number and AR-15, and it'll give you the manual, and you can download that. So that's kind of what comes with the AR-15 right here, and really nice rifle. I really like it. And on this case right here, it came with it too, which is the Bushmaster case. And there's a lot of different things you can do with it. If you want to break that in half and put it in something half this size right here, you can do that. Now here's a carrying case right here that you would have something like this in, which I've used this right here for my Mini 14. And these pouches here will hold 30 round magazines, and you got more than enough room in here to put this whole rifle in here. You can do that. And if you wanted something shorter, again, you can break it in half, you know, kind of like a suitcase thing for the AR-15. And say if you had the folding stock, you know, you could fold the stock version too. But you can buy all those accessories if you want all that, you know. It's questionable whether you need all that, which, you know, it's whatever you want to spend money on, I guess. But I hope this gives you a little idea about the AR-15 and ton of accessories you can get for them. Okay, this is the AR-15 is a fantastic rifle. There's nothing wrong with having an AR-15. If you're a normal human being, not a criminal, not a person who's a felon, not a person who has mental illness, mental disease, or anything like that, it is a masterful design work of engineering. And that's why a lot of people like the AR-15. So, and there are a lot of other rifles out there too. There's that, you know, people like in the military world. So I don't collect a lot of military rifles, but they have to be special to me historically. So I hope this has been a little bit informative to you. I hope y'all guys have a great and wonderful day. Gary J.